So in this video, I'm going to be going over the training mode in PUBG. I'm going to be showing you guys where a few things are located and what's actually worth practicing to help your game in PUBG. And this should be in addition to the tutorial mode that PUBG put in. It's a little bit basic, so I think going into training mode will really help you guys out. And with PUBG free to play, they've made some changes to training mode, and this has really improved the quality of this. And this is obviously subject to change. So if something changes in the future and it's not in this video, that is why. So first and foremost, the original training mode, you'd have to go in here, equip all of your items, and every time you ran out of ammo, you'd have to come back and pick up the ammo on this table. And now on controller, you can just hold the back button, and then you can spawn anything you want directly to your character. And what's really nice about this, if you tab over, you can equip level 3 gear and then just hit the add ammo button and add a bunch of ammo right to your character whenever you need it, which is really nice. We're going to load up here. We have an AK and an SLR. And then also, this is where some other items are located. I've been getting a lot of questions about where is the drone. This is under the tactical gear. And if you don't see anything in here, it's probably because PUBG has removed it because of trolls. For example, sometimes people troll with the C4 or with the Panzer. I think that stuff is actually still in this, but sometimes people will just shoot Panzers everywhere while you're trying to practice. And then also, if you're wondering, the cars or vehicles have been temporarily removed because of that same reason, and also for performance, but a lot of people were trolling with the vehicles and it slowed down some of the performance. So they have been removed from the parking lots and where they were stored. But you can see there was a racetrack. Well, it still is here, but there's really no point in using it because there's no vehicles. But PUBG does still spawn the scooters and stuff like that and the bikes, so you can get around the training mode a little bit faster. So maybe those will eventually be back. And before we get into where a lot of important things are located, I want to show you guys there's a new feature in the training mode, which is really awesome. And this is the practice range. And this is brand new with PUBG free to play. And you can find these by any of the icons that have a reticle marker on them. And you can actually go up to this green door and hit X, and it'll bring you into this private room, which is really awesome. And I was showing this in my new controller settings and gameplay options video, which I made an updated version for 2022. So if you guys have any questions about your controller or game options, because there's a lot of them, please make sure you check out that video. I'll link it above and in the description box below. But this is a really great area. So you have this shooting range right here, and this is nice because people aren't shooting you the whole time in the training mode. And then you have this range, which will actually show you your accuracy, which is really nice. I mean, this is awesome. So you can see if you shoot the target here, it will tell you 19 shots in the middle. I guess I'll just finish the magazine here. We'll see how we do. A little bit over there. And 80% in the middle target, 19% off there. And then you can hit the red button to reset it. And then you can also hit these buttons for different ranges. It goes from 5, 10, 30, and 50. So this is definitely more for close to mid-range, but this is where a lot of your fighting definitely happens in PUBG. Well, then again, sometimes you're fighting pretty far away, but this is a really good way to practice. I have an 8x scope on the SLR, and then you can practice kind of trying to shoot that a little bit faster if you can. But this is a great way to go in here and test out your scopes, and then if you need to change any of your sensitivities, you can do it quickly right there. And now we're at one of the two long ranges in the training mode. So the one on the east side here is an 800-meter range, which is nice if you want to practice some really long shots, but that's not something you'll really be doing as a beginner player. Most of your shots will be within 400-meter range, or at least they should be, because every time you shoot in PUBG, you're giving away your location. So you really only want to shoot when you think you're going to get the kill, unless you're just going for some really fun long-range sniper shots. So I prefer the 400-meter range, and you can switch here to the SLR with any type of scope or DMR sniper, whatever you want. And this is a really good way to practice hitting shots, consistent shots from close to long range. And I think some of these targets are actually glitched out right now. They're moving too fast. It could be intentional, but not many things move that fast in this game, or it could be trying to simulate like a vehicle. But nonetheless, it actually is probably good practice to try and hit this really fast target. But we're going to start off with the slow one in the beginning here. We're going to move over to the left and see people kind of just shoot you a lot in training mode and tend to troll you a little bit. It's actually kind of hard with the 8x scope to do this. I would almost probably prefer 6x to do this. We'll zoom out so we're not getting the full benefit of the 6x, but you should practice hitting all of these shots, right? And you should get it down where you can move these targets on a pretty consistent basis, even going out to these far ones here. The SLR has a little bit slower bullet time than, say, using a 5.56 weapon. But once you can do this with a few of the weapons, you can go into the game and feel a lot more confident that you're going to be able to hit an enemy consistently at 300 meters. So that's actually worth doing before playing, or if you're practicing in between playing. And then right behind this is a close quarters practice area, which I would not recommend doing this multiple times, but maybe sometimes you're just warming up in the beginning. You could play TDM or do something like this. And this is really nice to run through and practice running into some players close range. You could even do this in FPP if that helps, because a lot of times you're running through, you're finding players behind barrels or on top of a crate. And sometimes on controller, it can be really hard to adjust to somebody standing on top of a crate. So it's really good practice to kind of get warmed up here, shoot some players or shoot some targets in this instance, because you're really going to see people in these kind of situations. A lot of times if you're running through an area like this, this is where people are going to be, right in front of you on top of a crate. And you can see I just missed there. So maybe I need to practice a little bit more. But I find this actually to be pretty useful. And it's something that I did when I first started playing PUBG. You might think that some of this stuff is set up as a joke, but I really do feel like some of this stuff is actually pretty helpful. And then also here, you can kind of move to this section. Something that you want to get good at in PUBG is not always climbing over things. So for example, if you need to climb through a small window or over a small object, when you do this, you actually can't fire. So you're going to be climbing over this and you can't shoot. So it's good practice to make sure you can jump over this stuff pretty easily in a situation. Say there's an enemy in here, if he's in the left corner and you jump over, you can't shoot until you're done. So if you know an enemy's there and say it's a passive player, you can run, jump, and then be shooting that player pretty quickly. So that's actually something that, good players really take advantage of being able to do in this game. And it's something that you don't want to get caught, while you're mantling. And then we're going to head over to the grenade section. I feel like this is also really useful, is throwing grenades. In the tutorial section, they had you throw a nade and cook a nade, which is left bumper on console is the cook a nade. But to be able to do this correctly and properly can really save you in so many situations in PUBG. It's incredible. Throwables are definitely very strong. The grenade was actually nerfed a long time ago, but it's still a very overpowered weapon. So what you're going to want to do is grenades blow up, in about 5.5 seconds. I usually count to like 6 Mississippis because I count fast, and then you'll see. So right here, we'll test one out. So we're going to cook it. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, and the grenade blows up. And I just threw another one there. So it's good to practice getting these into the different buckets here. And you should be able to do this on a pretty consistent basis, at least the close ones. And this will help you a lot in game when an enemy is behind a cover or in a certain area. And then you also want to practice getting them into the windows here and then also cooking it properly, because if someone's in one of these windows or in a building and you throw a grenade in a building, they're going to have 5 to 6 seconds to get out of that room, and you're not going to kill them unless they're a beginner player. So something that's important to practice is looking at the window, cooking. I'm going to count the Mississippis and trying to get it to blow up right after it goes into the window. Unless you're going for some kind of bank shot or something like that, and you purposely want it to bank into a different area of the room, then you can do that. But what I like to do is say, I know there's a guy in that window. My team needs to move. If this guy's here, we're going to lose. So we're going to cook a nade. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, and it blows up just after going in there. You could actually probably delay that a little bit more. But getting this down and hitting these targets is clutch. So we'll do another one. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. There you go. A little delayed again. You could probably do that a little bit better. But this is huge in improving your game and saving these moments where someone is hiding in a building like that. And then lastly, you're going to see these parachute icons all over the map. You could head here to practice parachuting, which is a pretty important skill in this game, actually, because if someone can beat you down to the ground, especially at a hot drop location, they can get their gun loaded before you even hit the ground, and then you're not really going to have any chance of survival. So it's definitely worth going into this building. You can go over to the desk here and interact with it, and this will put you directly into the air, and then you can parachute down and practice that skill. And then also for people that don't know, when you're looking at a map in a regular game or in training mode, you can actually place a marker down on the map by clicking right thumbstick. And then on console, if you hit left bumper, you can actually make a chain of markers here with some lines in between to let your team know what you suggest that we should be doing as a squad or what you're going to be doing. And this is really helpful as long as you make sure you don't kind of clutter the map and make sure that you remove these after a certain while. So you go back into the map and hit Y and make sure that everything's gone. But that's a really helpful way to kind of improve your communication in game for sure. And again, if you need some other gameplay and marker setting options, go check out my tutorial. It's a full guide going through all of the options and best options in PUBG. So as always, I hope this video helped. If it did, please drop a like or consider subscribing for more PUBG related content. And if you have any questions you want to ask, I stream daily, Monday through Friday on Twitch at twitch.tv/Blitz5 and friends. Thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5 and peace out.